So Madhuranand was sitting beside the camera, and you could pass the microphone to him. No? Oh, this microphone, yeah.
Hai cambiato?
And Madhuranand, our host for
Mi sa che è ancora quello di
the program.
Jabra di microfono. Mi sa che è il Jabra di microfono.
Mi sentite qua?
Controlla.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Controlla in
Krishna
basso.
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
No, poi il microfono. Sì,
Rama Rama, Hare.
Mi sentite adesso? Ok, fantastico. Allora, dunque, allo Zoom di oggi, come avete visto, abbiamo messo domande e risposte, quindi non c'è un tema specifico, ma perché vabbè, non c'è stato il tempo di trovarlo, è stato un lungo weekend che da venerdì a finito ieri, soltanto ieri, quindi è stato molto impegnativo, non siamo riusciti a organizzare un tema, però domande e risposte sempre efficace, grazie alla nostra Monica che ha sempre un quaderno di domande da fare, quindi, e so che oggi ne aveva due. Io skipperei subito quella sul Gayatri perché ne parleremo in un altro momento. Però c'era l'altra domanda che sembrava più interessante. Se vuoi farla tu direttamente in inglese, così cioè, ti chiarisci sull'argomento, cosa che vuoi trattare. Apriti il microfono.
Esatto, allora aspetta che devo ritrovarla sul quaderno perché il quaderno è pieno di appunti a destra e a sinistra. E dove è finito quello? Aiuto, qua siamo al Matattva e non era qua.
Ormai faccio affidamento su di te, Monica, per le domande, per gli Zoom del mercoledì, sappilo.
Sì, ma perché praticamente il libro Evoluzione soggettiva della coscienza è un oceano di domande. Caspita, come si fa? Come si fa? Ho sollevato talmente tanti... Aiuto, dov'è? Scusate. Aspetta, che adesso devo
Se no,
trovare...
aspetta un attimo, se no Munindra adesso l'ho condiviso
Perché l'avevo scritto su Telegram, ve l'avevo scritta.
No, ma io quello l'ho condiviso, su Munindra lo sto cercando, è che io non ho qua come il mio telefono, che era scarico. Munindra lo stai leggendo in inglese e in italiano. Ah, io ce l'ho.
Ah, che era...
Quindi la domanda è di Monica e di anche tanti altri. Maharaj dice che è sempre nello stesso libro, cioè Subjective Evolution, che dovremmo identificare la mente, la ragione e l'intelligenza dentro di noi, che sono come in uno stato dormiente e con la bhakti si possono risvegliare. So the question is, arise from the reading of Subjective Evolution of Consciousness. Srila Guru Maharaj said that we should identify our mind through introspection, and then the intelligence, and then the true self that he said is like in a dormant state. But how is possible to identify? If you can clarify this concept, that Guru Maharaj.
Yes, so we want to hear your answer.
Well, it's very simple. Guru Maharaj and Gurudev and Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, I look the shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Indriyani parani aur indriyabhye paramana manasastu parabuddhi buddhaya paratastu saha. Sono sicuro che anche nel libro sarà citato questo verso. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, capitolo 3, verso 42 e 43, anche quello dopo, è inerente a questo. Quindi col metodo introspettivo uno deve identificare lo strato mentale che è fatto di accettazione e rifiuto. Quindi ogni qualvolta noi troviamo che nella nostra relazione verso il mondo esterno siamo duali, cioè da una parte dividiamo le cose che ci aggradano, le cose che vogliamo, e invece le cose che ci danno fastidio e le rifiutiamo. Accettazione e rifiuto, questa è la funzione della mente. Sankalpa e Vikalpa. Quando facciamo questo lavoro di discriminazione, di giudizio sulla realtà, discriminazione, ciò che è buono, ciò che è cattivo, ciò che ci aggrada e ciò che non ci aggrada, siamo nello strato mentale. L'intelligenza invece è superiore alla mente, nel senso che può controllare la mente. È molto semplice l'esempio che fa Gurudev Maharaj. Qualche volta la mente può dire voglio quella cosa, ma quella cosa magari è una cosa da mangiare, per esempio. Non so, un diabetico vorrebbe dello zucchero, ma quello zucchero potrebbe fargli malissimo. E quindi anche se la mente dice voglio lo zucchero, l'intelligenza interviene e regola la mente e dice no, non prendo lo zucchero. Quindi questa volontà superiore raziocinante è superiore alla mente, questa è l'intelligenza, buddhi. Manasa è la mente, buddhi è l'intelligenza. Ma superiore ancora alla mente e all'intelligenza c'è l'atma che controlla ambedue, cioè è più sottile, precede ed è superiore in tutti i sensi. Solo che nello stato dell'anima condizionata questa atma è dormiente. Quindi il più delle volte nello stato di anima condizionata la mente prende il sopravvento sull'intelligenza e l'intelligenza non riesce a regolare la mente rincorre i sensi rincorrono la mente, i desideri sorgono nella mente e così non vi è nessun controllo in sostanza e non c'è neanche nessuna percezione del proprio vero sé, perché questa valutazione, la mente è ciò che ci ha portato in questo mondo. La mente, praticamente il corpo materiale, è la manifestazione biologica della nostra mentalità. E quindi la mente non è veramente una cosa da seguire ciecamente. È un'istanza da regolamentare, un'istanza da controllare attraverso la buddhi, attraverso l'intelligenza purificata, il buddhi yoga, eccetera. Ok, this is in Italian.
No, already we understand. This is a good example.
Sì, posso dire che la tua spiegazione è stata chiarissima, Munindra. Probabilmente io non avevo proprio capito come era descritto in italiano dal maestro, cioè non avevo proprio capito questa cosa che intendeva, che invece detta da te così, cioè detta da Krishna nella Bhagavad Gita è chiara. E quindi adesso ho capito, sì, che cosa intendeva, perché forse nelle traduzioni in italiano forse non capisco bene il senso di quello che si è detto, non lo so.
Krishna sta rileggendo il libro e dice che è esattamente quello che ho appena ripetuto io, infatti mica l'ho inventato, l'ho letto anch'io. E quindi magari se lo rileggi vedrai che adesso capisci meglio. E poi puoi rintracciarlo in te stessa anche con introspezione.
Ecco, quella è una cosa che...
Maharaj, say something in English. This point is very important.
But also, you see, Srila Guru Maharaj, he describes the residents of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math, that they are doing service in an introspective mood, remembering Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. So introspective means that we will be thinking seriously about what we are doing, not just doing something, but we're engaging our energy under the direction of Guru Gauranga, under the direction of the Shastra, under the direction of the Vaishnavas. And we all know we need some direction. That's why you teach your children basic things. And that's why the school teacher teaches the children in the school. There are guidance that we need, but our guidance comes to our intelligence. We get taught by the master, by the scripture, Our intelligence gets the food, our intelligence should control the mind controls the senses. And ultimately, who are we? We know that we're not the body, we're not 25 years old and all these other things. We know that inside of us, somebody's sleeping, somebody is in there, just waiting to come out from these coverings. So the prescription has been given for us to always control our senses with our mind with our intelligence, and our intelligence with the good advice. And that good advice is not only do something if you get paid. That good advice is to do something which is devotional and don't expect any payment, that we will learn to be selfless, which is very difficult to do in this world because we're conditioned from the very beginning of life to be selfish, put ourselves at the center. But when we can be selfless, then we can start to understand that, oh, inside who I am, I'm a giver, a giving unit, a bhakta, a devotee, not an exploiting unit. Exploitation is foreign to the actual soul, the person themselves. It is from advertising. Okay, we've got advertising in the modern world, but Maya is very good to advertise. And so we get convinced, our mind starts to think this. And then we are putting ourselves at the center. So we have to get good advice. And through our ear, means from the talks and from the scripture of the great masters, to give advice to our intelligence so that we don't go the animal path, but we do go on the devotional path. Then the intelligence controls the mind the senses. So this is some thought. And then gradually, as we follow the process, then that sleeping soul inside of us, then we start to see through all the coverings and get a glimpse in this introspective mood. Yes, the devotional life is beautiful and I belong in that world, not in the world of exploitation. But Krishna Kantadidi has some excerpt directly from...
No, I was just checking
Exclusive.
the question.
Oh, okay. I thought she had an excerpt from Srila Guru Maharaj. Because of course, Subjective Evolution, it is a book which is answering many questions about the levels of consciousness and the levels of bodies that you get with the consciousness. But finally, Srila Guru Maharaj is always giving, be a devotee from this point. Not that we have to analyze everything and then we will engage in devotional activity. But the understanding why devotional service is the topmost thing to do, even though it looks quite simple. You don't have to stand on your head for even an hour. Very simple process is this devotional service. And so it looks so simple, but yet when we see from the great saints and sages that really it is the thing to do, it's the very best thing to do, and it is the very nature of the residents of Goloka Vrindavan. And we have our focus to Goloka Vrindavan by the grace of Nitai and Gauranga and by the grace of our Guru Vaga. So our intelligence needs good food. The best food is their instruction and their guidance. Well, first question, I think, is quite... Okay, Monica? And we should be thoughtful, not thoughtless. We should to make decisions in our life to upgrade ourselves and not degrade. Degradation, just the word degradation, being degraded, going down. So the world loves to pull us downwards. It is here to do that. But we've got those who are stronger than this world, Guru and Gauranga, and they can take us upwards. But we must follow their guidance. We must hold on to the rope that they are delivering to us to take us up. Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj said, now we've come onto this elevator to take us, elevator, to, like the lift. I don't know what the expression is in Italian. You know, the lift that goes up in a, it's got a 25-story building. You press the button, you go in the elevator, and you go up. But this elevator has no walls on the outside, but there's a pole in the middle. And we have to hold on to that pole and tolerate the speed of this elevator going to Goloka Vrindavan. Srila Gurudev gave some example like this. So we need to get on the elevator, and then by the grace of above, we need to tolerate the speed. We need to tolerate the journey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And we have such wonderful masters who are so personal and caring, and they're not like sitting at the, sitting on a in the lectern in the university lecture hall and shouting out a lecture. They are giving us affectionate indication of our bright future and say, come forwards, come forwards. Don't be foolish, don't be mudda, don't be mura, be sensible. And Krishna Kanta Devidasi can help us all on the path with some good advice of how we cannot be foolish, and we can try to at least not degrade ourselves. Today, okay, with Jagannath Prabhu, we were covering some point that Srila Guru Maharaj was staying in a lecture. And the first thing is to maintain where we are, not to slip and be degraded. But from there, to come up, we need to maintain, that has its value. But then to come forwards when that opportunity will come, we will take that opportunity. That's it. That's my best Italian. Govinda, Govinda.
I think today we have a special guest, so not always they are with us. So maybe I give them. Sorry, Vaidehi. Vaidehi and the mom from California, they're our guests for like 10 days. And so we have a special guest. I want to hear from them.
Only 10 days. What is this?
Till the 29th. What topic?
We've got good souls here. They love to hear from you, from another person than us. They hear from us
Oh,
a lot.
I see. Okay. Okay. I will think for just one moment. I know it is dead air. I am sorry. Okay, it's a broadcast term, not to be silent when the mic is on, right? Always stay talking if the microphone is on. Well, I think I'd like to share something about oh, yes.
Actually, if you clip it, then you say it. All right.
Yeah. So something like a theme, and they speak English, yes? They understand?
Italian.
Sorry, but they understand if I speak? Okay. Just like a theme that I've been thinking about a lot lately is the words of the Vaishnavas, the Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. Make your mind one with the instructions of the Guru and do not desire anything else. Arana Koriya Mane Asha, do not desire or do anything else. And just this topic, really I could just stop right there, but how important that is, and the importance of these conversations and asking these questions. And I like what Maharaj said about to be thoughtful, not to be thoughtless. Sometimes we will hear from people some discouragement of reading the scripture, or only don't just read and intellectualize. But actually, my feeling always has been that this is a part of our process, Shravanam Kirtanam. How can I do some seva without giving my intellect proper food and proper understanding. So like Munindra was saying, sankalpa vikalpa, like if we do not even know what is truth, then how can we understand what to reject and what to accept? And, you know, this pranam mantra of Saraswati Thakur, the Nikila Bhuvanamaya China Vichina Kartri, Vibuddha Bahulamriga Mukti. So he's like coming into this world and he's bringing this transcendental knowledge that can free us from this material existence. And he is illuminating our consciousness so that we can understand like what is truth from untruth. And same with the Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyan Anjana Shalakaya, applying the soothing salve of transcendental knowledge so that we can actually realize our potential. You know, sometimes there's a joke about like everything has some instruction manual, but not this life. This life does not have an instruction manual, but actually we are lucky because we do have an instruction manual. And so, you know, there's so many things people do not know and the mysteries, but actually here we have no mystery. There is zero mystery. The only mystery is the mystical quality of the Vaishnavas. This is the only mystery, is how they are operating and how they are working through the hearts and mouths and ears and senses of all of the devotees. Like today, we went to do some seva errands and we ran into two wonderful devotees while we were out shopping for these seva jobs. And we had a very nice conversation. And this devotee, Rituraj, was sharing how mystical Gurudev is, that beyond language, beyond intellect, beyond the mind, like it is nice that we understand what is the function of the mind, what is the function of the intellect, as we are becoming oriented with who we are, because we have not had a manual for so long. So now finally, they are coming and giving us a manual. And so we are like, oh, this is my finger, this is my mind. We're getting finally some proper conception. But really, this is beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, beyond the finger. And the gurus and through the devotees are operating in this very mysterious, mystical plane that actually does not require any intelligence, anything. It does not require anything, only their grace. And the only thing we must do is not focus on, well, I cannot say anything, but you know, like, oh, what is the mind of this? No, the only thing we must do is try to think about, how do I become a proper vessel? How do I become a proper recipient? Well, first of all, we have to remove all of the beep, all of the things that are not part of our spiritual practice, right? That is what we must reject. And as long as we are full, one time Gurudev, I walked in to the veranda and I was doing a lot of video editing at that time. And you have to, you know, take the footage from the cassette and then digitize it. And then you edit and select only the best parts. And then you have the fine material. And I had all of this job to do this seva, a lot of video that I was processing. And on my short break, I came to offer Dandavats to Gurudev. I did not say anything, but he turned and he said something about, you know, like, if we are full with the raw material, then the finer things, they cannot come. There is no space. And it made so much sense because of the seva that I was doing. And it also had so much meaning. So I don't really know how to like dissect or digest what he said, but all I know is some idea that we are full of this raw material and we must understand of that raw material what we keep and engage and what must be discarded. So I think something along this topic of the importance of the words of the Vaishnavas, so that we can, you know, these songs and these things we are hearing, they are meditations, but not just meditations, they are real sound healings. Okay, like what is a real sound healing? A real sound healing actually can purify you. So the best sound healing is Krishna Katha, hearing these talks of Krishna so that we can purify what is our understanding. And so we are so lucky that we have a family that likes to discuss about Krishna. So, and have these conversations. So this is what I would like to say. Mhm.
Dai.
Quindi se ci sono altre domande, if you have more questions, you can ask, and Kalindi can answer.
Oh dear.
Kalindi is mum, and Vaidehi is daughter, and we've known mum and daughter for many years, since daughter was very young.
So it's the same thing, or we have another?
Make everybody Krishna conscious in the room, who is on Zoom with us in the room, and who is in the room. Just
Well-
make us Krishna conscious, Kalindi.
Oh dear God. I had to become first, Chris. Well, we have so much mercy in our life that it's impossible to deny it. You know, I remember our dear Rishabhadev Prabhu remembering Srila Guru Maharaj always making so much emphasis and be a proper receiver. Be a proper receiver. And he was just desperate, telling us that. He said, Gurudeva is giving so much mercy, showers and showers of mercy. But if we are like that, we don't receive it. We have to let our hearts open and pray for grace. The grace is there, the mercy is coming. But if we have just the guidance of our own polluted mind, then we just lose the opportunity. We just have to pray to have some openness, opening of the heart, opening of the mind. And everything is like gradual. Everything take their times. And we have to just be patient with our own self, patient and tolerant to others. Practicing what Gurudeva always emphasized: humility, respect, giving honor to others, be tolerant. And their words, there is no easy to really be one with those words and practice. But if we pray, miracles happen. We have to be open to those miracles, because sometimes they are in front of our eyes, but because we are so close and so full of our own ideas, fears, misconceptions, then we miss the opportunity. So you just pray to our guardians that we don't miss the opportunities, and we take advantage of this mercy that is showering upon us without any discrimination, any qualification, any requirement, just praying to be a humble, open receiver. And that's like the struggle of our life, you know, the struggle of our life. We are all struggling in a foreign land. It's just a passing show. So don't take our own egos and our own faults too serious. You just pray, be humble, accept that we are full of faults, but they are not part of our inner, part of our own self, our souls. Our soul is pure, is part and parcel of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada always emphasized part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we have very higher aspirations. And by the grace of our guardians, the grace of the Vaishnava, we will get there. We will get there. There is assurance. One time Gurudeva was in Russia, and he was seeing the room full of devotees, and he said, I just see many realized souls. And that's the way he sees all of us, as a realized souls. And this is our hope, our treasure. So we're very happy and very lucky to be here with the association of these beautiful devotees. And I offer my humble dandavas. Please forgive my offenses.
Jai.
Jai.
Well, the two sisters from Solfed,
Yes.
they're not gonna be here for. I don't know if you. Maybe you can ask the person.
Don't be shy. If I talk, you can.
There is one microphone in front of Cimone.
In my day for who?
Source of
Inspiration.
inspiration.
Oh.
Easy, watch the video. I'm also watching.
Which one? Oh sì, ok, quindi quello che è venuto nella mente è che scienza ha scoperto la risposta giusta per come controllare la mente. Hanno fatto un esperimento. C'era un topo dentro un contenitore, hanno messo bottiglie d'acqua un lato e una bottiglia d'acqua l'altro lato, ma pieno di cocaina, pieno di cocaina. Quindi, ovvio, il topo va subito a cocaina 1000 volte per giorno. Prende l'acqua del cocaina. Spesso, ma non c'era niente altro dentro il contenitore, solo bottiglie di acqua, bottiglie di cocaina. Ma gli scienziati hanno preso questo topo, hanno messo dentro un diverso contenitore dove c'era la ruota, altri giochi, donne, buon cibo. Altri topi, sì. Ma amici, tutto quello, era bello il posto. E il topo, incredibilmente, non va più all'acqua di cocaina. Scienza. Questa è scienza. È per... Dopo l'inglese. Quindi cos'è questo esperimento? Per noi è che questa bottiglia di cocaina per noi è Maya. E noi vogliamo andare a Maya. Ogni giorno vediamo tutto il mondo, vanno a Maya, spesso quasi ogni momento. Ma quando c'era il posto, quando c'era la situazione che è più, che dà più qualcosa più bello di quello che Maya ha, naturalmente nostra mente va lì. Quindi non vogliamo rifiutare nostra mente, vogliamo cambiare questa mente. Vogliamo dare qualcosa più bello a nostra mente che in quel modo nostra mente diventa trascendentale. Vogliamo che il nostro corpo diventa trascendentale, la nostra mente diventa trascendentale, la nostra intelligenza diventa trascendentale. Quindi dobbiamo vivere in una situazione dove tutto è bello, tutto è da quello che veramente quello che abbiamo bisogno. E come Rupa Goswami dice in Upadeshamrita, a proposito del Santo Nome, è che all'inizio è amaro, quando cantiamo è amaro, ma la cura di questa amarezza.
È delizia.
Sì, di sentire una cosa amara anche quando è dolce.
Sì, e di cantare il Santo Nome. Quindi la cura per noi di non essere attratto a questo mondo materiale, a questa Maya, è di trovare il piano di devozione e di fare fare nostre attività dentro questo piano. Quello dà più gioia di qualsiasi cosa che Maya può darci. Forse in inglese, quindi non sono confusi. Okay, so science has given us the answer, how to control the mind. And they did an experiment. And they put a mouse in a cage, in its container. They put a bottle of water on one side, and they put a bottle of water on the other side. But this bottle of water was filled with cocaine. So the mouse loved that water, obviously, just kept running to that water. Every few minutes would run to that water, take some water, and never touch the other water, but always would go to the cocaine water. And there was nothing else in that cage except those 2 bottles of water, and the mouse just went to that cocaine water. Then they took that mouse, they put it in a different cage, they gave it a wheel, they gave it some toys, they gave it other mice to play with, and girlfriends, boyfriends, and they gave it good food, but they kept the water there, and the cocaine water was still there. But the mouse no longer went to the cocaine water because the mouse found something more attractive than the cocaine water. Superior taste. Right. And so same for us, like we are in this exploitive world. And so what we are attracted to is Maya, the cocaine water. And so we go to Maya every minute. We go to Maya. We take something from Maya. We want Maya. We want Maya. The other water, we're not interested. We want Maya. And so the way to get out of that is to find the situation where there's something more attractive than Maya. And so like Rupa Goswami says that in the Upadeshamrita, when you begin to chant the holy name of Krishna, it may be a little bitter, but what cures that bitterness, that taste, is chanting the holy name. So for us, for what is the cure for Maya, for this bottle of cocaine, is devotional plane. Living on the devotional plane, being with the devotees, doing devotional activities those activities transcend this material world and give us greater joy. And so not only do we want to try to control the mind, but we want also to try to transform the mind. We want to transform our mind, our body, our intelligence, all into the transcendental world. And so through this process of living in the plane of devotion and leaving behind the plane of exploitation, we can easily abandon all those type of material things. Jack.
I could see from Sevarupa's face, she understood all the way through what you learned. I was going to ask her for the translation. What did you understand from that Italian person? Hare Krishna. But we can't not hear from Krishna, can't today, Vidasi? We're all humbly asking her to share something.
About the man, the story you told us.
L'ho già raccontata ieri. No, I don't know. Today came this lady, Samantha, who's very nice, and she's always want to do some interview online. She's bringing us to this channel, the other channel, very popular channel on YouTube. And so we were discussing about Gurudev today with her, and because she's very fascinated by the Sanskrit also language. Then she was asking something about it. And then I just remember a story, since yesterday was Gurudev appearance, so we can go on with these topics a little bit. And I remember Gurudev telling the story how there is this very difficult grammar book of Sanskrit. If you want to learn Sanskrit, you have to just memorize. And it's not like a nice story or something. They're just words, the roots, and that with all these grammar things. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You just have to memorize all these Sanskrit words. And so Guru Maharaj usually didn't say to ordinary fallen soul to study Sanskrit like us, but to him, he want Gurudev to be a learned Acharya in the future. So he want to prepare him to be his successor. So he saw also some qualities, some very smart quality, very intelligent boy and Brahmin boy. So he wanted him to learn Sanskrit, and so he asked him to memorize this grammar book. And then he asked at some point to Gurudev, did you memorize the book I told you? And Gurudev said, no, Maharaj, I cannot memorize. It's very difficult to learn all this. And then Gurudev said they are on the train one day, and then Gurudev again was asking, so did you memorize that book? And Gurudev said, no, Maharaj, I couldn't. I tried, but I couldn't. And then Guru Maharaj started to speak, and he recite all the book, all the grammar by memory. He just throw, and Gurudev said it's throwing potency, like he's speaking the Vaishnava Vakya, the words of the Vaishnava, and he speaks all the grammar to him, and Gurudev is hearing and memorizing on one hearing. So then I was telling Samantha, this is like the Shruti Dhara. Once the knowledge was transmitted in this way, like just by hearing once, the human, this yogi, this, human being that lived once in like, I don't know, maybe Satya Yuga, like before us, before Kali Yuga, they could just memorize by hearing once and repeat. So this is how Vedic knowledge was transmitted before. But now we lost this, but still some, like our Gurudev, it was like a Shruti Dhara. He could just hear once and memorize a whole Sanskrit grammar. And Gurudev humbly said that the throwing power of my Guru, but also about receiver, what kind of receiving power Gurudev had. And so the perfect Guru and perfect disciple. And then Gurudev became the perfect Guru because he was the perfect disciple. I mean, of course, not only because he has this exceptional quality of remembering everything he hears from his Guru, but also to put it into practice. And as I was telling yesterday, Munindra was like, why don't you say again? Then now I can say again. Yesterday I was talking about how when Gurudev came to the mat, then the first things that Guru Maharaj asked him, he was like, have you come here to stay or not? And, or just come in and then you go. And Gurudev said, yes, I come to stay. And then Guru Maharaj told him, if you want to stay, can you follow what I'm saying, not what your mind is telling you? And then Gurudev said, yes. And then he said yes, because he always say yes. But then he say, and I didn't know that time how difficult that would be. And then immediately he goes down to take, then Guru Maharaj told him, go and take prasadam now. And then he goes to take prasadam, and in the dal, there's full of insect flowing in the dal. And then he's there, and the first test come. My Guru told me to eat and take prasadam, but my mind is telling this dal is full of insect. I don't want to eat. But he just made a promise to his Guru, so he's taking the dal with the insect flowing. So this is something that came to my mind just now about Srila Gurudev and in English to the Italian Zoom, but I think everybody understands when in Italian speaks in English. It's Italian-English. And yes, and also how much is alive these things that, this, what we read, like what Krishna spoke in the Bhagavad Gita like 5,000 years ago, how still is alive when we read the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna there is answering to Arjuna, but Krishna, Gurudev says, is actually, when he's talk, Krishna is the Jagat Guru in Bhagavad Gita, he's speaking to Arjuna, but he actually speaks to all humanity, and his topic are very broad and wide. He doesn't just speak about exclusive bhakti yoga, but he wants to attract many people on the path that eventually, gradually will take them to the bhakti yoga. And so that's why his conversation is so broad. And so, this is kind of a living book. This is what is the subjective evolution of consciousness, that, it's not something dead, it's something living, that constantly we read the Bhagavad Gita and we interact with Bhagavad Gita. We also, Krishna is talking to us, and we have seen many times, sometimes I have some doubt, something. And I like to just open Bhagavad Gita and see if there is anything for me that Krishna has to say, or maybe it's not the Bhagavad Gita, maybe it's the audio of Gurudev. Like, I have a very strong doubt these days. And I just decided, okay, I just listen to one of the audio that Chinmoy Prabhu is publishing and see if Gurudev has some instruction for me. And I was really praying to him, like, tell me, please give me the answer. And I got my answer. And I was very happy with the message I received from Srila Gurudev on that video. So it's a living thing. This is what I want to say. It's not something dead. It's not. And, we are hearing from so many anthropologists sometimes, not that we are hearing, but we have seen how in the university they are like studying religion, but they make the religion, they make God an object of their study. And that is never going to work. They're never going to understand anything about God, because, he's not the object of our study. He's the super subject. That is also what's saying in subjective evolution of consciousness. We are object to him. We are his object. And we should always worship that knowledge, that God, that speak about God. But the way they do in the university is always trying to objectivize everything and study like this tradition, that tradition, that tradition, but you never understand. Really understand means you're never gonna to realize that in this way. So you need to really give yourself, like, go deep into reality and embrace the practice, and then you will be able to feel who is God, who are you beyond the mind, beyond the intellect and everything. Not just by reading or like worshiping, like in a mechanical way, It's a transformation of consciousness that has to be activated. So this is Krishna consciousness, I think. I mean, some aspect of it, of the infinite aspect of Krishna consciousness. Okay, I'm finished to speak.
Jai Shri Krishna consciousness ki jai. Beautiful.
You have 2 minutes to ask a question. No, 1 minute to ask. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute to ask. Not chat?
No, that's from the beginning, not recent.
So if nobody has any more questions, it's 7:30, 29. We can run to Kalpata.
Yes, do you want to do Jais first or Hari Harai Nama Krishna? Switch the thing. So we'll chant Hari Harai Nama Krishna and then we'll give the Jais afterwards. Oh, we got a Hari Harai Nama Krishna person. That's the Vaishnavas are Kalpavriksha. Sounds right to me.
66. 2 mantras. Okay. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Shri Madhusudan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Garadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhata Raghunatha.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhata Raghunatha.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhata Dasa Raghunatha.
Jiva Gopala Bhakta Das Raghunatha.
H.I. Goshai Kori Charana Vandana.
Jai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana.
Jaha hoite Vignana Sabista Purana.
Jaha hoite Vignana Shabista Purana.
H.I. Goshai Jar Muitaro Dasa.
Jai Gosai Jar Muitaro Das.
Dasavara Para Renu Mora Panchagrasa.
Asvara Pada Renu Mora Panchagrasa.
Dadira Charana Sevi Bhakta Sane Basa.
Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva.
Janame More Abhilasa.
Janame More Abhilasa.
H.I. Goshai Jabe Braje Koila Basa.
Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilaba.
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakasha.
Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakasha.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana.
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 Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Majaya Mana.
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 Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Kori Asha.
Guru Vaishnava Pad Dharma Koriya.
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottamo Dasa.
Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Kori Asha.
Guru Vaishnava Pad Dharma Koriya.
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottamo Dasa.
Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Rama Rama.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Oh Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Saprika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhavika Gopinath Ju ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Giriraj Balagopal Ju ki Jai. And Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Santa Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rock of Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Jai Vila Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Villagovinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Jai all the assembled devotees ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. And Jai Shivad Bamun Paradam ki Jai. Today the festival day, and tomorrow Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disappearance day. So some remembrance tomorrow of our grand Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Tirubari Titi tomorrow ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.